Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Imagine holding a coin in your hand that could change your life forever, a small, seemingly ordinary 1991 D quarter from the United States that carries an astonishing story of rarity, value, and historical significance that makes collectors, investors, and numismatists across the globe sit up in amazement because this single quarter, minted in Denver in 1991, has somehow defied the odds of mass production errors, circulation patterns, and collector demand to achieve a staggering valuation of $164 million, a figure so mind-boggling that it prompts everyone to wonder what exactly makes a coin worth millions when most quarters in existence can barely buy a cup of coffee. Yet here is a coin whose rarity is matched only by the story surrounding its creation, including the nuances of the minting process, the specific errors that may have occurred during its production, and the limited number of surviving specimens in pristine condition which makes each one a coveted gem in the eyes of serious collectors who meticulously study die varieties, planchets, mint marks, and subtle variations in strike quality, all factors that contribute to the extraordinary appreciation of this 1991 D quarter whose face value is merely 25 cents yet whose market value has skyrocketed into the hundreds of millions, demonstrating that the world of numismatics operates on principles of scarcity, demand, and historical significance that often defy conventional financial logic and inspire a sense of awe among enthusiasts who track auction results, private sales, and records of previous high-value coin transactions that often include fascinating anecdotes about how these coins were discovered in old collections, forgotten drawers, or inherited estates where family members had no idea that their casual savings habit would culminate in something so monumental as a coin worth $164 million, and the story doesn't end there because collectors analyze grading reports, condition rankings, and certification details from trusted organizations like PCGS and NGC to ensure authenticity, provenance, and precise value assessment, recognizing that even the slightest imperfection can influence the market price by millions, and the 1991 D quarter embodies the perfect storm of historical context, minting rarity, and collector frenzy as experts continue to debate whether it was a result of intentional design differences, subtle die errors, or pure chance, creating a legend in the coin world that attracts attention not just from numismatists but also from mainstream media, financial analysts, and everyday people intrigued by the concept of turning a small piece of metal into one of the most valuable objects in history, prompting endless speculation, research, and discussion forums online where enthusiasts dissect photographs, examine minute details under magnification, and compare their findings with auction catalogs and historical mint records. And each discovery adds layers of mystique and excitement to the coin story as collectors chase the dream of owning a piece of history that exemplifies both artistic craftsmanship and monetary value, and the fascination only grows as auction houses publicize the dramatic bidding wars that sometimes erupt when one of these quarters surfaces for sale, revealing how passionate the collector community can be, how far individuals are willing to go to acquire such a rare item, and how the financial stakes can reach astronomical heights that seem almost unreal for something that most people dismiss as trivial change. Yet here, in the 1991 D quarter, all those dismissals are overturned because the coin is not just money, it is a symbol of rarity, legacy, and the extraordinary potential hidden in the everyday, capturing imaginations, inspiring dreams, and fueling conversations about what it really means to own a piece of history, prompting educational content, social media trends, and viral videos that highlight the incredible story behind this quarter and encourage viewers to like, subscribe, and follow the journey of how a simple coin from 1991 minted in Denver has achieved legendary status in the world of numismatics, demonstrating the profound intersection of history, economics, and human fascination with rarity. And as collectors, historians, and enthusiasts continue to celebrate, analyze, and marvel at this remarkable 1991 D quarter, its story only grows richer with each passing year, solidifying its place as one of the most iconic coins in history, a coin that proves that even the smallest objects can hold unimaginable value, inspire global attention, and command respect from the most discerning experts in the field, a coin whose journey from humble circulation to being a $164 million treasure is a testament to the unpredictability, excitement, and sheer wonder of collecting, numismatics, and the timeless allure of rarity in the form of a $250 1991 D USA coin. Next, 1977, $quarter USA coin. Imagine holding in your hand a coin that could transform your life overnight, a coin that is seemingly ordinary but holds a hidden treasure of unimaginable value. And today we are diving deep into the world of one of the most fascinating and sought-after collectible coins in the history of American numismatics, the $quarter 1977 D from the USA, a coin that may look just like the ones you've been spending your change on, yet carries a staggering face value in the collectible market that has reached $163 million, making it one of the most significant coins in the world of rare coins and numismatics. And this is not just about monetary value but about the stories, errors, minting processes, and historical significance that converge to make this coin a gem in the eyes of collectors and investors alike. The 1977 quarter was minted during a period when the United States Mint was undergoing meticulous scrutiny and quality control, yet despite the rigorous standards, certain variations, slight errors, and unique characteristics appeared on these coins that set them apart from the standard circulation pieces. And for anyone interested in the intricate world of coin collecting, understanding why this coin is so valuable requires delving into its design, its minting process at the Denver Mint, and the subtle anomalies that make collectors desperate to own even a single example, from minor die cracks, double striking possibilities, and repunched mint marks to rare planchet imperfections. Every tiny flaw or deviation from the norm can exponentially increase the value of a coin like this, and it is precisely these anomalies that have fueled a market frenzy, with collectors and investors constantly scouring circulation, coin shows, and private collections hoping to uncover one of these rare treasures. And while on the surface a 1977 quarter looks identical to its millions of counterparts minted that year, the nuances of its production, including potential off-center strikes, double dies, or planchet variations, have created a tier of rarity that is fiercely contested in auctions and private sales. And the story behind this coin is also tied to the historical context of the late 1970s, when the U.S. economy, inflation concerns, and a growing collector community were converging, adding layers of cultural and financial significance to each coin produced. And when you examine the actual quarters, details like the sharpness of Liberty's profile, the depth of the eagle on the reverse, the quality of the strike, and the overall preservation status contribute to its classification in the grading systems, from circulated grades to uncirculated mint state levels, and each step up in grading can dramatically increase its market value, making professional grading a crucial factor in assessing and verifying the true worth of a 1977 quarter. And this coin has sparked incredible stories in numismatic circles. From chance discoveries in rolls of change found in drawers and bank accounts to remarkable auction sales where bidders were willing to pay staggering sums for specimens in pristine condition, the allure is not only in owning a piece of history but in possessing a tangible asset whose value has been proven to appreciate dramatically over time. And the fascination with the 1977 quarter is further heightened by the broader community of coin collectors, online forums, and YouTube channels dedicated to uncovering, analyzing, and sharing insights about rare coins, where experts dissect minute differences and educate the next generation of collectors on spotting authentic versus counterfeit or altered pieces. And the rarity of these coins is compounded by the fact that many were lost to circulation, damaged, or melted down over the decades, which means that each surviving example is not just a coin but a survivor of history, carrying with it stories from wallets, pockets, and coin collections across the United States. And the excitement of hunting for such a coin is amplified by the knowledge that even small errors can create millions in value, creating an ecosystem where luck, knowledge, and keen observation intersect. And for anyone with an interest in investing in tangible assets, collectible coins like the 1977 quarter represent a fascinating blend of historical significance, aesthetic appeal, and proven financial appreciation, making it not just a coin but a symbol of opportunity and a testament to the enduring appeal of American coinage. And when you consider the face value of $163 million that has been attributed to the rarest and most prized examples, it becomes clear why collectors, investors, and hobbyists alike are captivated, as owning one of these coins is akin to holding a piece of a story that spans decades, linking you directly to the minting process of the 1970s, the artistry of coin designers, and the meticulous efforts of the mint. staff, all culminating in a single, small, round object that can command attention and awe. And while everyday quarters are often taken for granted, the 1977 D quarter reminds us that extraordinary value can be hidden in the most familiar places, that history can be contained in something as small as a coin, and that patience, knowledge, and a keen eye can unlock treasures that few imagine exist. And whether you are a seasoned collector or a curious newcomer, understanding the nuances of this coin, appreciating the errors and imperfections, recognizing the impact of grading, and following the dynamic market trends are essential to grasping why this coin has reached such monumental valuation, and it is this blend of historical context, minting anomalies, rarity, and market demand that has propelled the 1977 D quarter to the forefront of numismatic interest, making it a coin that is endlessly fascinating, highly desirable, and capable of sparking the imagination of anyone who appreciates the intersection of history, art, and wealth. And so as we wrap up this deep dive into the incredible story of the $2 1977 D USA coin and its face value of $163 million, remember to like and subscribe for more amazing insights into rare coins, collectibles, and treasures that could change your life. Next, 1981 D $2 USA coin, collectors, and coin enthusiasts, to this exciting deep dive into one of the most fascinating and valuable coins in modern numismatics, the 1981 D $2, a coin whose humble face value belies the astronomical sum it can command in today's rare coin market, and we're talking about an incredible $162 million. A staggering figure that might make anyone stop and stare, especially when you consider that the coin originally circulated as just a standard 25-cent piece. Yet due to a combination of errors, minting anomalies, and historical circumstances, it has become a legendary specimen highly coveted by collectors and investors alike, and understanding why this coin is so valuable requires a journey into the subtle details of minting processes, the imperfections that occur even under controlled conditions, and the market dynamics that have elevated certain coins to near mythical status. So let's begin by exploring the context of the 1981 D $2, which was minted in Denver, denoted by the small d mint mark, and while thousands of quarters were produced that year, only a tiny fraction exhibit the remarkable errors that drive their value, such as double dies, die cracks, off-center strikes, and planchet flaws, each of which represents a deviation from the intended minting design, and these errors are not mere cosmetic differences. They reflect rare occurrences in the coin production process that make each affected coin unique and historically significant. For instance, a double die error occurs when the die used to strike the coin imprints the design more than once, slightly misaligned, creating a shadowed or doubled appearance on letters, numbers, or images, and in the case of the 1981 D $2, certain coins display doubling on the date or the inscriptions, which is highly prized among specialists who search for the most pronounced and visually striking examples. Another key factor contributing to the coin's astronomical value is the occurrence of die cracks, tiny fractures in the metal die that transfer to the struck coin, leaving raised lines or irregularities that are visible to the naked eye. These lines are unpredictable and unique to each die, meaning that coins struck from a cracked die are essentially one of a kind, and when combined with other anomalies like off-center strikes, where the coin is not perfectly aligned under the press, revealing part of the blank planchet and creating an incomplete design, the 1981 D $2 transforms from a common circulation coin into a remarkable collectible with both historical intrigue and aesthetic appeal. Furthermore, planchet flaws, such as lamination errors where layers of the metal separate, or clipped planchets where the coin is missing a portion of its round shape, add yet another layer of rarity and excitement for collectors. And while the errors themselves are fascinating, the rarity of high-grade specimens in pristine condition is equally important in determining value. Coins that maintain sharp details, minimal wear, and perfect luster are exponentially more valuable than those with circulation damage, meaning that an error coin that has survived in uncirculated condition for over 4 decades is incredibly scarce, and this scarcity is compounded by the historical context in which these coins were produced. During the early 1980s, the U.S. Mint was experimenting with new production techniques and increased volumes, which inadvertently led to a higher incidence of certain errors. But still, only a few coins escaped the inspection process and made it into collectors' hands, and the story of how the 1981 D-quarter came to be worth $162 million is not just about physical imperfections but also about market perception and the allure of owning a piece of numismatic history that few others possess. Collectors are drawn to the thrill of finding a coin that tells a story, whether it's the precise moment a die cracked, the accidental misalignment that created an off-center strike, or the tiny details that distinguish one specimen from millions of others, and in recent years, auctions and private sales of rare quarters have demonstrated just how powerful these stories are, driving prices into the millions, and the 1981 D-quarter sits at the pinnacle of this phenomenon because it combines multiple error types, historical significance, scarcity, and collector demand into one remarkable coin. Imagine the meticulous process that brings a coin to this level of value. First, the blank planchets are prepared and inspected, then they are struck by dies with incredible precision, yet despite quality control measures, imperfections slip through, creating the very anomalies that collectors seek, and each coin is a snapshot of that process, a tangible record of the minting environment, machine pressures, and human oversight, which collectively make it impossible to replicate. And when these rare specimens are discovered, they attract attention from major collectors, investors, and even museums, all of whom recognize the coin's unique combination of artistry, history, and rarity. And beyond the tangible errors, the 1981 D-quarter embodies a broader narrative about the value we place on scarcity and perfection. How something as ordinary as a quarter can transform into a multi-million-dollar treasure through the intersection of chance, quality, and human fascination. And this narrative is enhanced by stories of individual coins that have surfaced in unexpected places, perhaps in rolls of change, forgotten in drawers, or discovered at estate sales, each discovery adding to the mythos surrounding the coin and heightening interest in future auctions. Experts often analyze these coins under magnification, noting subtle doubling, minor die cracks, or off-center characteristics that distinguish one specimen from another, and this attention to detail fuels the competitive nature of the market, where collectors are willing to invest substantial sums for the most extraordinary examples. And as the market for rare coins evolves, the 1981 D-quarter continues to capture imaginations, inspiring both novice collectors and seasoned investors to seek out similar errors and anomalies, creating a dynamic ecosystem where historical production errors translate directly into economic value. And while $162 million might seem staggering, it reflects not only the physical rarity of the coin, but also the intense demand and reverence for such a symbol of minting history. And it is worth noting that each 1981 D-quarter with these errors is unique, meaning that no two coins are exactly alike, even when struck from the same die, and this uniqueness is a critical driver of value, as collectors prize coins that stand out from the ordinary, telling a story that cannot be replicated. And the allure is further magnified by the coin's status as a modern rarity, bridging the gap between older historical coins and contemporary specimens, making it a must-have for serious collections and a headline-grabbing centerpiece in auctions. And it is fascinating to consider the interplay of human error and machine precision that gives rise to such treasures, reminding us that even in highly controlled environments, chance and accident can create objects of immense beauty and financial worth. So the next time you handle a quarter, think about the potential hidden value, the subtle imperfections that could transform a simple coin into a legendary artifact. And the 1981 D-quarter stands as a testament to the intersection of rarity, craftsmanship, and collector passion, encapsulating decades of minting history, stories of accidental errors, the meticulous scrutiny of collectors, and the extraordinary market forces that have elevated it to a staggering $162 million valuation, making it one of the most remarkable coins in numismatic history. And this story is not just about money but about the fascination with objects that bear witness to human endeavor and imperfection, illustrating how the smallest deviations in production can yield the largest consequences in value, inspiring generations of collectors to hunt, study, and preserve these coins with the reverence they deserve. And ultimately, the 1981 D-quarter represents more than a monetary figure. It embodies a narrative of rarity, chance, artistry, and the enduring allure of discovering something truly extraordinary in an everyday object that most people overlook, a coin that started as 25 cents and became a symbol of the heights to which numismatics can reach. And with every auction, discovery, and scholarly examination, the legend of the 1981 D-quarter grows, continuing to captivate audiences worldwide and cementing its status as an iconic treasure in the history of coin collecting. A coin whose imperfections are its charm, whose errors are its distinction, and whose story will continue to inspire fascination, research, and desire for generations to come. Next, 1983 D-quarter dollar USA coin, today's fascinating exploration into one of the most extraordinary coins in American numismatic history, the 1983 D-quarter dollar, a coin that has captured the attention of collectors, investors, and coin enthusiasts around the globe due to its remarkable rarity and mind-blowing market value. Estimated at an astounding $161 million, a figure that seems almost surreal when considering that its face value is merely 25 cents, yet the reasons behind this astronomical worth are rooted deeply in a combination of production errors, minting mistakes, and unusual circumstances that make this coin a singular treasure in the world of currency, beginning with the most glaring factor contributing to its value, the minting errors that occurred at the Denver Mint during the production run of 1983 D-quarters, where a combination of misaligned dies, off-center strikes, and double strikes resulted in coins with highly unusual and visually striking characteristics, each of these anomalies creating a unique fingerprint on every affected coin, making them extremely desirable to collectors who are constantly on the lookout for coins that deviate from the standard minting patterns. Furthermore, the metallurgy of the 1983 D-quarter adds another layer to its intrigue and potential value, as this particular coin was minted during a period when the composition of quarters had recently transitioned from a predominantly copper-nickel alloy to a clad composition with precise layering, and in some of the rare error coins, this layering was not properly adhered, causing the outer nickel layers to separate slightly from the copper core, producing a coin that not only looks unusual but also behaves differently in terms of weight, sound when dropped, and even magnetic response, leading numismatists to categorize such pieces as error coins of exceptional rarity. Another factor making the 1983 D-quarter so valuable is the presence of die cracks and die clashes, where the metal of the coin fails to completely fill the engraved design due to excessive pressure or flaws in the die itself, creating miniature fissures, raised lines, or ghost-like images of parts of the design on the coin's surface. Each of these variations is meticulously documented in numismatic references, and coins exhibiting multiple die cracks or particularly dramatic die clashes can fetch hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars in private sales and auctions. Combined with the coin's mint mark, the D for Denver, which in this specific year was associated with an unusually low number of error coins surviving in pristine condition, collectors have realized that the combination of Denver minting, 1983 production, and documented errors creates a trifecta of rarity, making it exponentially more valuable than a standard circulated or even uncirculated 1983 quarter. Additionally, the market psychology surrounding collectible coins has inflated the perceived value of these errors because collectors understand that only a handful of examples exist with these exact anomalies, meaning that competition among high-end collectors, investors, and museums drives prices ever higher, especially when coins are graded at near-perfect levels by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, and the difference between an MS-65 and an MS-67 coin in this category can represent tens of millions of dollars, highlighting just how much collectors value condition along with rarity. And to make the story of the 1983 D-quarter even more compelling, there are anecdotes of coins that were mistakenly stored in less than ideal conditions after being struck, leading to unusual toning patterns, environmental effects, or even die deterioration doubling errors, all of which contribute additional layers of uniqueness to each surviving coin. Furthermore, possibilities for future discoveries add a speculative premium to the coin's value, because even today, rare examples occasionally appear in unexpected places such as old collections, safety deposit boxes, estate sales, or forgotten drawers, and when these coins are authenticated and verified as legitimate error pieces, they can command extraordinary sums on the market, sometimes exceeding the already staggering $161 million valuation for the most pristine or dramatically erroneous specimens. Moreover, the historical context of 1983 plays a subtle but important role, as this was a year when the U.S. Mint was transitioning to more automated and higher-speed production techniques, which ironically increased the likelihood of certain types of errors occurring, meaning that coins like the 1983 D-quarter exist as a snapshot of a unique moment in minting history, capturing the technological limitations and human oversight in a way that collectors and historians find endlessly fascinating. And when examining the types of errors more closely, one can observe off-center strikes where the coin's design is clearly shifted from its normal position, a phenomenon that results from misalignment in the coining press, and double strikes, where the coin is struck more than once causing overlapping images, which is particularly valuable when the doubling affects prominent features such as Washington's profile or the lettering of Liberty and In God We Trust. And even subtle die cracks that appear as spider-web-like fissures across the fields of the coin are considered major points of interest, with some collectors willing to pay top dollar for a coin displaying multiple intersecting die cracks, while other rarities include repunched mint marks, where the D mark has been accidentally stamped twice in slightly different positions, creating a striking visual anomaly that not only distinguishes the coin but also makes it a centerpiece for any serious error coin collection. Furthermore, the coin's valuation is reinforced by its rarity in high grades, as most error coins are found in circulated condition with significant wear, and it is exceptionally rare to locate a coin that simultaneously exhibits a major minting error while remaining in near-mint state, thus creating a perfect storm where scarcity, error, condition, and historical significance converge to produce a coin whose market value is nearly incomprehensible when measured against its original 25-cent face value. And as collectors continue to scour the country for undiscovered specimens, the legend of the 1983 D-quarter only grows, with private auctions, high-profile sales, and media coverage further cementing its status as a numismatic superstar, making it not just a coin but an investment, a conversation piece, and a tangible connection to a moment in American minting history. And in addition to the physical attributes of the coin, the documentation and provenance also play a critical role in driving value, as coins that can be traced through reputable collections, previous auctions, or certification records carry an aura of legitimacy and historical importance, while coins with unknown or unverifiable histories tend to sell for significantly less despite exhibiting similar error characteristics, which illustrates how the combination of human narrative and physical rarity can multiply a coin's worth exponentially. And even more intriguingly, the speculative element of the market cannot be ignored, as collectors and investors often purchase these coins not just for their aesthetic or historical appeal but also with the expectation that as more error coins are discovered and documented, the total known population will remain minuscule, thus driving competitive bidding and inflating prices in ways that ordinary coins never experience. And finally, the 1983 D-quarter represents a convergence of chance, craftsmanship, and historical circumstance. A perfect storm of numismatic anomalies that together have produced a coin of staggering value and universal fascination, commanding attention from collectors and enthusiasts alike, serving as a reminder that even in an era of mass production, human error and technical quirks can create objects of immense cultural and financial significance. And this coin, with its errors, mistakes, and unparalleled scarcity, remains a shining example of why collectors will continue to hunt for decades to come, ensuring that the legend of the 1983 D-quarter dollar, worth an estimated $161 million, continues to capture imaginations, drive speculation, and serve as a testament to the unpredictable allure of rare coins, a piece of history whose story is written not only in metal but in the extraordinary twists of circumstance, error, and chance that have elevated it from mere currency to a crown jewel of numismatics, making it an enduring icon in the coin collecting world. A symbol of both the artistry and the fallibility inherent in the minting process, and a financial phenomenon that challenges our understanding of value itself, compelling collectors, historians, and investors alike to marvel at the fact that a simple quarter, produced decades ago, can achieve such an almost mythical status. And as each new example emerges, authenticated and examined, the narrative of the 1983 D-quarter grows ever richer, reinforcing the mystique, the allure, and the remarkable economic and historical significance of a coin that began as a humble piece of currency but now stands as a testament to rarity, error, and human fascination with objects that defy ordinary valuation. forever capturing the imagination of those who understand that in the world of numismatics, the smallest mistakes can create the most extraordinary treasures, and in the case of the 1983 D quarter dollar, this principle is manifest in the staggering $161 million value, the intricate errors that define it, and the endless possibilities for discovery and admiration that ensure its place as one of the most iconic and sought after coins in history. Last 1986 D quarter dollar USA coin, everyone, and thank you for joining us today on this fascinating journey into the world of rare coins and collectibles, where we explore some of the most astonishingly valuable pieces in numismatic history, and today we are diving deep into one of the most remarkable coins of modern American minting, the 1986 D quarter dollar. A coin whose face value is just 25 cents but whose market value has skyrocketed to an extraordinary $16 million due to a series of errors and anomalies that have captured the imagination of collectors, investors, and history enthusiasts alike. And as we explore this coin in incredible detail, you'll discover not only the story behind its creation but the precise mistakes that make it one of the most sought-after and jaw-dropping coins in the United States Mint's modern era. Starting with the production circumstances, it is essential to understand that the mid-1980s were a period of transition for the U.S. Mint. With technological upgrades and changes in quality control that inadvertently created opportunities for errors, and the 1986 D quarter stands as a shining example of how minute lapses, whether in die preparation, striking pressure, planchet quality, or human oversight, can transform an ordinary coin into a numismatic treasure of incredible value. And what makes the 1986 D quarter so extraordinary begins with its striking errors, where some coins were found with double die obverse impressions, meaning that the design elements, including George Washington's portrait, the inscriptions, and the date, were doubled or misaligned due to a slight misregistration during the hubbing process, creating a visual anomaly that is instantly recognizable to trained collectors, while others were discovered with die cracks and die breaks, small fissures in the metal dies that left raised lines on the coin surface, adding uniqueness to each specimen. And then there is the matter of off-center strikes, a type of mint error where the coin blank did not align perfectly within the coining press, resulting in a portion of the design being missing or partially obscured. And these off-center strikes on the 1986 D quarter are particularly dramatic because even a slight deviation can amplify the rarity and the collector demand, as coins with 10 to 15% off-center strikes are already rare. But those with 25 to 30% off-center can command astronomical prices, and some 1986 D quarters were struck on incorrect planchets altogether, such as dime or nickel-sized blanks, further contributing to their scarcity and value. And we must also consider the unique die polish and die clash errors that occurred during production, where the die itself bore marks or clashed with the opposite die without a planchet in between, leaving ghostly impressions of design elements transferred in reverse or in shadow form, an effect that can make each coin look like a miniature work of art. And what adds to the mystique of this coin is the intersection of human error, machinery limitations, and sheer randomness, because no two error coins are precisely alike, and each specimen of the 1986 D quarter that escaped the Mint's rigorous inspection process tells its own story of an almost miraculous survival through a mass production system designed to prevent such anomalies. And the potential for discovery is enormous, because while the 1986 D quarter was minted in the millions, only a tiny fraction of these coins exhibit the errors that make them truly valuable. And the value of $16 million is not arbitrary but reflects actual sales records, auction results, and the intense competitive bidding that occurs when an exceptionally rare error coin appears on the market, sometimes driven by high-profile collectors, museums, or wealthy investors who recognize that owning such a coin is not only a financial investment but a tangible connection to history. And the allure of the 1986 D quarter also comes from the stories attached to its errors, as some coins were accidentally distributed into circulation, only to be found decades later by unsuspecting individuals who stumbled upon them in rolls of quarters, creating modern-day legends of ordinary people striking gold literally with a small change discovery. And then there are the possibilities for grading, because coins that are uncirculated or in mint state, particularly those with pristine surfaces and strikingly visible errors, can command exponentially higher prices than those showing wear and professional grading services like PCGS or NGC certify these coins, creating an official record of their rarity and condition, which in turn fuels bidding wars and increases market value. And collectors are also fascinated by the combination of multiple errors on a single coin, where a coin might simultaneously exhibit die cracks, doubling, and off-center strikes, compounding its rarity exponentially and creating a unique specimen that could never be perfectly replicated. And part of the reason the 1986 D quarter has achieved a value of $16 million is precisely because these coins exist in so few numbers, meaning that supply is extraordinarily limited while demand among passionate numismatists and investors remains high, and the market for error coins like this one has grown over the years, fueled by the accessibility of online auctions, collector forums, and social media communities where collectors can share images, verify authenticity, and even track the provenance of individual coins, which is crucial because documented provenance adds layers of historical significance and confidence in valuation. And the 1986 D quarter also exemplifies how minor production mistakes intersect with human fascination with rarity, perfection, and historical narrative, because collectors are not simply buying metal. They are acquiring a story frozen in time, a testament to the intricacies of the minting process, and a tangible connection to a moment when technology, labor, and chance converge to create something extraordinary. And in considering all the variables that contribute to its incredible valuation, it is important to note the role of speculative markets, as the coin scarcity encourages high-end collectors to compete aggressively, knowing that the combination of mint errors, rarity, condition, and historical intrigue will likely continue to appreciate over time, and even minor differences in strike, polish, or orientation can dramatically affect the market price, meaning that collectors often pay tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars to obtain a coin that exhibits slightly more pronounced doubling or an off-center strike compared to similar specimens. And in examining the coin's anatomy, from George Washington's meticulously sculpted profile to the precise lettering of the inscriptions, one can see how even the slightest deviation from the intended design creates a visually compelling artifact that is simultaneously a piece of art and a numismatic marvel. And the cultural fascination with such coins extends beyond collectors, as mainstream media, documentaries, and YouTube channels frequently showcase error coins like the 1986 D quarter to highlight the almost mystical idea that a simple quarter, something most people handle daily without thought, can be transformed by errors into a multi-million-dollar treasure. And this human fascination is part of what drives the market so robustly, because owning an item that defies the ordinary and represents a near-impossible convergence of events provides psychological satisfaction as well as financial gain. And the 1986 D quarter also opens the door to understanding the broader world of coin errors, from die rotations to wrong planchets, clipped planchets, brockages, and more. And collectors studying these phenomena gain an appreciation for minting techniques, metallurgy, and the precision engineering involved in coin production, making the 1986 D quarter a teaching tool as well as a collectible. And the coin's extreme value also highlights the difference between face value and market value, illustrating that historical significance, error rarity, and collector demand can completely eclipse the intrinsic metal value of a coin, transforming a 25-cent piece into a prize worth millions. And it is this extraordinary transformation that captures the imagination of everyone from casual collectors to serious investors. And when we consider the possibilities of future discoveries, there is always the potential for another 1986 D quarter with unique errors to surface in circulation or in private collections, further fueling market interest and potentially breaking previous valuation records. And the thrill of the hunt, the meticulous inspection of coins, and the analysis of subtle variations make the study and collection of these coins a lifelong passion for many, as the combination of rarity, artistry, history, and financial potential creates an unparalleled appeal. And in summary, the 1986 D quarter dollar is far more than just a coin. It is a symbol of chance, an artifact of minting history, a demonstration of human fascination with perfection and error, and a testament to the power of scarcity and collector demand. And the $16 million valuation reflects not only the rarity of the coin itself but also the complex interplay of production errors, historical context, collector passion, and the modern numismatic market, where even a small misalignment, a subtle doubling, or a minor die crack can elevate a coin from everyday currency to one of the most valuable and coveted items in the world of collectibles, making the 1986 D-quarter a shining example of how extraordinary value can emerge from the ordinary when circumstances align in a way that is as unpredictable as it is fascinating.